What's up, guys? Today we're going to show you how to start seedlings. We're going to talk about why you should do it, when you should start them, what you need to start them, and how to get it done.
Yeah, this is basically Dustin's favorite topic of all time. So for price comparison, each one of these packets, which is an organic seed packet, cost us about $2.50 at a big box hardware store. We would have liked to buy them at a local place, but there's not a ton of local places around here, so that was our best option. For comparison's sake, the best price we ever found for starts was at a locally owned place near us. None of them were organic. One square, so one start, would have been about $1.
Yeah.
And you guys will see as we actually fill these up, this is going to do way more than one. So, and you get total choice into what you're growing. You're not held to whatever that nursery decided to grow.
Right, exactly. You definitely get a little bit more control over what you're growing in terms of the variety. You can go to a box store and they'll offer, a few different kinds maybe. When you start it from seed, you definitely have more control over exactly what it is that you're going to end up harvesting.
Yeah.
And that's something that I definitely like.
Yeah, me too. So, science guy, when do you want to start your starts?
So, the best time, it really depends on what you're trying to grow. For some things, it can be all the way out to 12, maybe 8 weeks. Some things you want to grow directly in the soil. And a lot of this information you can really just find. It's like a nice little cheat sheet. If you just look on the back of whatever it is that you're trying to grow, you can get a lot of really helpful information on when you should start them, how you should start them, and they also have a lot of really just great tips in general.
So we are in zone 5B.
Yeah.
So that means our last frost date is usually around first or second week of May. The one thing that we found super helpful over the past couple of years is using a calendar, and honestly we just use our phone calendar. Even set a reminder on your phone for when you should be starting them, and then also once you do have the seedlings, I even set reminders to remind myself to water them and stuff like that, because seedlings can be very finicky.
Absolutely.
Now I think we should get into what you're going to need in order to do this successfully. So the first thing is really more general. You need obviously space to do it. So for us, the thing that works the best is just doing the seeds here on our kitchen counter. And then from there, we have a dedicated space upstairs in one of our spare bedrooms that we're able to keep warm with a space heater, and we're able to put grow lights down for them. We learned this lesson the hard way when Sadie was a puppy. Sadie's our dog, who you've probably seen running around in the background. She destroyed an entire flat because she ate all of them. So all that work, we got them to actually sprout and all that kind of stuff, and then she destroyed it in 3 minutes. Yeah. So definitely make sure that it's secure from any dogs, cats, children, anything like that is my number one tip.
Yeah. Just a few things that are really, really important. It's kind of easy to overlook them, but I feel like giving a really solid start is super important. So one of the really kind of base things to really start with is a high quality soil. I really like Fox Farm. They have a great line of soil, whether it's Ocean Forest, and I think there's another called Happy Frog, I think. I've never used it, but I heard that it's really great. So a lot of their stuff is made with bat guano, worm castings, things like that. So it's very nitrogen rich soil, and it's really great for starting seeds.
Yeah, so we actually have a huge bag of soil right off camera, and we're using, I think it's the Ocean one, right?
Yeah, yep, it's Ocean Forest.
Yeah.
Again, this is made with bat guano, so it's very high in nitrogen. It's really great for starting seeds, and I find that it really holds the moisture well. You want a potting soil that's going to drain well, because you don't want to have mold, but you want to have something that will hold it well enough so that it doesn't dry out.
The second thing that you're going to need, which is obviously the trays. So this is actually the first year we're trying these cool biodegradable trays. I'm really looking forward to them. I wasn't the biggest fan of the plastic trays. I felt like there's a lot of waste, and the idea of growing our starts in plastic kind of skeeved me out a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to give these a shot. I know there's some people who use egg cartons.
That'll work.
You can repurpose old containers. You can get really creative with it, but ultimately you need something to actually put your seeds into.
Yeah.
The other thing, this definitely isn't required, but I like to do them, is just have some way to label which rows or which type of plant. Obviously, as they grow, it'll become easier to tell what's what. This is the first time I've actually used these like official label things. Usually I'll just like write on the actual carton or something like that, but we're giving these a try this year.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely very important to maintain a steady temperature. You don't want it to be too hot, but at the same time you don't want it to be too cold. If it's too cold, they're just not going to start well. You're going to have a low germination rate. If it's too high, they may dry out, or if there's too much moisture and it's too high of a temperature, there may be mold. So around 75 would be a good number, but it also could depend on what you're growing as well. We have an electric space heater that works really well, and it has a thermostat in it, so I can just dial it in for whatever temperature I want, and then it stays there.
yeah. And then the thing for like newbies like me is that in the beginning they actually don't need light, which totally makes sense because obviously the seed's underneath the dirt, but that was something I never thought about before.
Yeah.
In the beginning you really just need the heat, and then once you actually see your sprouts coming out, that's when you want to add the light in. So I think what we'll do now is we'll just plant our 8-week starts.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll show you how to do it.
Yeah, so for us, we're gonna do some sweet peppers, we're gonna do some hot peppers, rosemary, celery, onions, and then we're doing one variety of lettuce. I know lettuce kind of, you can plant several times throughout the growing season, so you wouldn't necessarily have to start lettuce this early, we just wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's how we're doing it.
planting our little seeds, and then we're going to give them 10 to 14 days, I would say, is a good window for you to start seeing your little seedlings start. So in a couple weeks we'll check back, but over, I would say, every other day, just take a look at it, make sure that they aren't too wet, that they're not drying out, and that they are at that nice happy medium that we talked about before.
I know in the past you've recommended a spray bottle.
Oh, absolutely. That's super important. I really like a spray bottle much more than just putting water directly on the cell after you planted the seeds. If you put water directly on the cells, it'll kind of like slosh the seed around and kind of dislodge it from where you planted it. And I just, I'm kind of a perfectionist in that way, so I kind of like it a certain way. So I like to spray it with a spray bottle. Just get some water and spray them before you put the domes over them. We do have a dome. We'll show you what that looks like. But that'll work well at keeping the humidity higher.
Yeah. And then I think the biggest thing is just try not to get frustrated with them.
Yeah.
We've done seeds so many times and we failed a couple times, and it is what it is. Worst case scenario, you go get starts, and starts come out great too. So I would say try to stay positive about it, try not to get frustrated about it, and in general, if you follow the tips that we gave you, those are all from personal learning experiences, so you should find them helpful, hopefully.
Yeah, a mistake's not a mistake if you learn from it. If you go forward and you apply the knowledge that you learned, it's not a mistake, it's a lesson.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, thanks.
Bye.